but the notion of a Rian Johnson new trilogy, like original trilogy, like cracks me up. Because honestly, after the big Disney announcement that mentioned nothing of it, I imagine that the phone call went something like this. Hi, Disney here. Hi, Disney. This is Ryan. Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Deadpool meeting is next. No.
Yeah.
Johnson. Rian Johnson.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson? Oh, Rian Johnson, hi. Yeah, hi. Listen, I was watching the Disney...
It's not like... It's like, and you are...
I was watching the Disney presser, and I noticed that all, like, 20,000 Star Wars projects...
Honestly, I think Rian Johnson's future is going to depend on what Kathleen Kennedy does with her contract.
64,000 projects, and I didn't see anything about my trilogy.
Yeah.
And I imagine, your trilogy. We'll get right. We'll talk to you about that next week, but don't worry. It's still on.
Yeah.
Why? I honestly, when they have so many creative people in Star Wars right now, with The Mandalorian being an example, and all these shows coming up, why would they even want him? Why would they want to, like, risk it with so much bad taste that he left?
You know, they can... People can say what they want. There is... He's not a bankable commodity for Lucasfilm right now, you know.
The only way they can do is if they let a lot of time go by and a lot of goodwill get rebuilt.
Well, he would have to build that goodwill. If he wanted that, like, Rian Johnson would have to really, you know, extend the olive branch or whatever to
the fandom that despises him.
Like him, and like there's a few of, you know, like Kathleen Kennedy, who's Carlos Pablo Hilgaldo. Yeah. I can't remember. But Hilgaldo. Like
Hidalgo.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right.
He was a jerk, so I don't care if we get his name right.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it's like you can't, like, it's like, how is it okay to treat people like that? I mean, look, there's a lot of jerky people. You read the forums, right? I mean, you're one of those people that I see that on social media.
Pretty stupid, but yeah.
But you know, it's like if you went to a restaurant and someone, I went there the other day. I went to a restaurant and left my bank card there, and when I called back the next morning, I got so much flack from the little girl who was. Who took my card. She's like, I gave your card back. I'm like, no, you didn't give my card back. I mean, maybe you did or didn't. I don't have it. You know, rather than saying, hey, let me check on this for you.
Did you get it back?
No, I had to cancel it.
Oh.
Little whore, but anyway.
Oh.
But I'm never going to go. I am never going to go to Original Pancake House again, by the way. I will not go there because I'm this curmudgeonous old guy.
There goes my plans.
Right.
For after the show.
I know.
All right, so let's talk about the plot. Let's talk about plot. Force Awakens, Last Jedi, the plot. Let's start with JJ. JJ and Force Awakens. And what he did right on the plot of The Force Awakens.
He did a good standalone movie, if you take away all the mysteries.
Yeah, there are some people that are critical of his mirroring of Star Wars, but...
Lucas did that,
yeah. Exactly. And I think that he was honestly trying to...
Yeah, he's paying homage to
Lucas's mirror theory, or ring theory.
He goes rhyme. He's like, he rhymes.
The rhyme theory.
Yeah.
Right. I think he was trying to do that.
Right.
And that's okay. Again, a lot of criticism about that, but... and I don't know, maybe he didn't need to do it so much. I mean, did Jakku need to be a desert planet? You know, it's like...
Yeah, that was like the one thing that was weird. I liked the visual.
Yeah.
I would have... I think I would have been fine if it would have been Tatooine.
Yeah, if she would have been on Tatooine.
Again, I mean, yeah, you don't want to put her on the place where
they hide Skywalkers constantly.
Yeah. But I do think that
never find a Skywalker here.
Yeah, I know. Kenobi, who?
What?
I know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. He changed his name to Ben.
Yeah.
Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi. That's like,
I'm going to hide they'll never find.
But well, okay,
I'll
well,
change
let's
my
go.
name
But
to
let's go
Finn.
back. Let's go back to the plot point though too. Like where I think again one of the mysteries was Max von Sydow was on.
Or Sydow.
I said Sydow. Is it Sydow?
I think it's Max von Sydow. Sydow.
You're always correcting me. Like
No, you don't need to look it up. It's
No,
Max. Just call him Max.
now I'm gonna look it up now that because you correct me on everything.
It's Sydow, I believe. I think it's how it's pronounced. I don't know if it's Sydow.
It's Sydow.
Yeah, Sydow. Sci-fi. Science.
Pronunciation. Max von Sydow.
Did it just say Sydow?
Sydow. S-E-E, dough. Homer
Okay,
Simpson.
fine. Nope.
Okay, so
All
anyway,
right, fine. Max von Sydow.
yeah. Maybe I got it. Like,
No. You looked it up on the internet.
right,
They
but
never
Max
get
von
it wrong.
Sydow. I said Sydow, but it's C, like, whatever. Anyway, it's not Psy, it's C. And like, I knew that, because he was Ming the Merciless. But my point is that he was on Jakku for a reason, and that reason was to watch over Rey. Rey was somebody who, like, she was not a nobody like stupid stupid Ryan Johnson said. JJ had her set up to be somebody of significance, of significant lineage, whether it's Kenobi or a Skywalker. It was never. I don't think she was ever meant to be a Palpatine.
I honestly think she was always meant to be a Skywalker, and again, it was it was unnecessary to make it such a mystery. It didn't need to be the mystery that JJ made it.
Yeah, it didn't need to be, but it was fun. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of a fun little thing, and I think they were taking Han and Leia's twins in the expanded universe.
Yeah, Jason and Jaina, I think.
But yeah, like that's who they were modeled after. Although they weren't twins, I think. Like I said, my theory is that like Leia set it up when she said when Kylo went to go train with Luke. Leia set it up when she was talking on the reunion with Han. She's like, he went to train with Luke. That's when I lost you. That's when I lost him. That's when I lost you both. Han took off. He took off, and he impregnated Leia before he took off. And like Leia like needed to hide her for some reason. And like that character who knew where Luke was, who had the missing piece to Luke, there's no coincidence. Why is the Millennium Falcon on Jakku? You know what I'm talking about? There's too many coincidences for it not to be
Right.
You know.
But anyway, let's go back to what was right about the plot. Okay, what's right about JJ's
I'm very passionate about that.
I know. What's right about JJ's plot? He set up
He set up a good movie. He set up a decent movie, I thought.
He mirrored Star Wars, which was fine. He gave us the interesting characters, and he put them on the path of an interesting story. That's about all I can say he did correct in the plot, because I actually think he did more wrong with the plot. And it goes back again to how he used the plot again to only partially answer questions. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think that everything should be info dumped. It's fine to
right.
It's fine to have some things be kind of mysterious. But
yeah.
I agree with you about the Falcon. And again, when you are presented things in such a way that people can start to speculate. I mean, I had this whole thing about how Maz was the one who got young, took Rey when she was young and gave her to Unkar because it would be a great place to hide her from
Kylo.
the First Order and Kylo, and in order to keep Unkar Plunt, brilliantly played by Simon Pegg, in line, she's like, here's the Falcon, which I figured she would have stolen from Han.
I think I think that Han was meant to, like, because he's been looking for the Falcon. He needed to find it.
Right. It's one of those things that you set up that was kind of cool that never got answered.
Right, but he probably thought that Rian Johnson was going to, like, at least respect the stuff that he set up. But Rian had to make his own movie.
I think that's something actually that JJ could have done in Force Awakens.
Maybe
he could have given us that one. Because that was important, That was a great moment when Finn's like, what about that ship?
No.
Oh, that piece of junk. And then the thing gets blown up. And they're like, okay, we'll take the junk.
Right.
I mean, didn't you just want to, like, cheer?
Yeah. But the whole point that Han tracked the Millennium Falcon, like, he was meant to find it. It was there so Han could find Rey. That's what I think.
Right. They could have developed that plot, that part of the plot. Could have been way better.
And like, let me ask you this: at the end of Star Wars, at the end of Force Awakens, why on earth would Leia hug Rey in the way that she hugged Rey,
and not
like,
even,
hey, nice to meet you,
and not even hug Chewie,
and not even hug Chewie? Yeah, again, I mean, that's a point.
Yeah,
but
JJ, if there's one thing that you did wrong, more wrong than anything, it's that.
But it's forgivable if Rey is the daughter that Leia gave up to keep safe.
Slightly.
It's forgivable, slightly, but yes. But it's like that kind of would it's like, oh my God, there's nothing else on your mind where it's like, oh my God, this is my
right. My son just slayed with a lightsaber my husband and your best friend, but I'm not going to hug you.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there has to be like something like, oh my gosh, like it just, I mean, again, you can explain it away by Force user, but like it was an emotional response that she did at the end of that movie that led me to believe that it was going in an entirely different direction. So anyway,
it could be.
Back to the plot.
Anyway, the biggest plot problem that I have with J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens is the Starkiller base. Starkiller base, in my opinion, is the biggest plot problem because now you would have to do an entirely different trilogy. But if you were going to have a mystery, if you were going to have some sort of mystery that would carry over 3 movies, only to be revealed in the last one, it should have been Starkiller base.
But again, we won't know because of Johnson, what he did to...
No, actually, I don't blame Johnson for this one. I fully blame JJ.
If it was going in a direction...
Because Starkiller Base was one thing.
Right.
Starkiller Base was only one thing. It was the symbolic destruction of the Legends. Or, I'm sorry, the creation. The symbolic destruction of the EU to turn the EU into Star Wars Legends. You're
not reading a little bit more into that, or was that stated someplace? Or
no, that's what I've never actually read that, but that's what I believe.
Maybe it's kind of a stretch, but I'll give it.
I don't think it's a stretch at all because what did it do? What other than that? What did it do?
Well, it was. I mean, it was the.
It was a stupid bigger Death Star that had no impact. Right. Wasn't even interesting. Was economically inefficient. Was sort of...
Well, it was its own ecosystem. You could it had fuel and you could...
Yeah, it was sort of...
well, it's kind of a...
Where did the First Order get this funding?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well,
I want to bring up trade deals and stuff from the prequels, but, it's like... Again, it was a wasted opportunity to actually make something awesome, to make something where, because think about the Death Star, man. The Death Star...
got destroyed in the first movie.
It did, but think about how the impact of the Death Star, okay? We saw the Death Star. It wasn't, it's like, oh my God, look at that thing. That's no moon,
Yeah.
And then the way that the Death Star was used in Jedi was interesting. The new Death Star, the bigger Death Star, that was actually functional,
Right.
It's like, but what was Starkiller Base?
It was the new Death Star. It was the thing that needed to be destroyed to bring...
Which Han basically summed it up perfectly. Okay, it's bigger.
Right.
So what?
Right.
You know?
But yeah, but the point is, it served the same function, it serves the same purpose as the Death Star did. Here's this big base, it needs to be destroyed.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't know if they need to destroy the planet for you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it too. It's like they should, if they would have disabled it, maybe that would have been interesting.
Or, yeah.
See, I think that the Star Killer base was something that should have been around for all three movies.
Well, they disable the Star Killer base. They destroy the gun. Okay, you think it's not functional. If they wanted to mirror that, then all of a sudden, the planet's not destroyed, but oh my gosh, here's a new Star Killer base.
Now we can go and we can attack Star Killer base and really do it, but it's actually functional. We've actually fixed it.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
And honestly, they probably could have used everything that they probably could have summed everything up on the planet that Star Killer base is on.
Right.
Like, they probably could have been like, oh, this is where this was, this is where this was. I don't remember, a lot of the plot points on any of these movies because after, I only watched The Last Jedi. I sat through it in the movie theater, and I can't get through it.
The funny thing about that is that even though I've only seen The Last Jedi once, it's absolutely burned into my memory.
I know.
Burned. In the old Looney Tunes cartoons when they,
Yeah, it's branded in there.
Yeah, branded in my brain.
Like I said, so your plot point was Star Killer base.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the plot was Star Killer base, and I think that's one of the.
But
things
that's like one movie though.
But I think that's one of the things about JJ is I think JJ. This is one of the places where I'm a little bit critical of JJ Abrams. I think that his plots get convoluted by things.
Yeah, I mean, it got convoluted, but again, if you follow the outline, it had to have made sense over the course of three movies. Because unlike the original trilogy, they didn't. They kind of fumbled their way from through the trilogy, the original. Hope, Empire, and Jedi.
Yeah.
The prequel trilogy did have a cohesive story. There was a story that was prevalent through the whole trilogy. They knew that they had to get to Vader turning to the dark side.
Right. Right.
And again, as they weren't bad. I mean, it's funny how they are much more appealing now that Jedi's or the Last Jedi was made.
Oh, prequels are great. Jar Jar Binks is amazing.
I could deal with it.
They should have made him the Sith. That
would have been
said
awesome.
He should have been.
That would have been the saving.
That would have
grace.
redeemed those movies.
No, again, they were all right, But anyway, and then like I said, the last one was just like, all right, here like the Rise of Skywalker.
No, don't go there yet.
You don't want to go there yet?
No, not yet.
All right.
No, we got to stick with these two. All right. All right. So that I think that pretty much covers the plot for JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sets up things well, but he also convolutes.
Right. But I will deal with setting up well and convoluted then. The absolute.
Well, let's talk about Rian Johnson and plot. What did he do good? Now, I'm really trying to actually think about this one because I think that, okay, I think I can think of something on this one. If you take away all of the details from The Last Jedi and you lay it out like this, the Resistance has to escape the First Order. They're fleeing from them. Rey needs to find Luke to get trained. Never mind. I can't actually do it. The plot, it was so screwed up in that movie, the way that the plot was put together.
Well,
outside of the opening.
There was stuff that just made no sense. I mean, and it's been covered multiple times, but gosh, like Holdo just
Well, no, let's talk about one of the biggest plot problems. Okay? the space car chase.
The fact that your commander is telling your what was Poe at that point? Kind of a general-ish?
Poe was a commander.
The commander. The Holdo's not telling Poe what her plan is. That would have saved a lot of time.
Well, that was just a plot device to make Poe into an ass.
But
and so she could be a strong female character. I mean, they made her 7 feet tall,
right.
so she could look down on Poe. I mean, I know that there are people that are going to be like, oh, you have a problem with strong female characters?
No.
No. I actually hold Leia in like the highest regard.
Yeah, but you're a misogynist, so what are you going to do?
And there are so many good examples of strong female characters like Ripley, like
everything's been
like
covered.
Sarah Connor, like all of those characters that are Wonder Woman. I mean, it's like
Amanda from the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, exactly.
She came in and saved the day because she was the good pitcher.
She was
right.
But not Holdo. No, Holdo was absolutely like shoehorned into the plot. And unfortunately, so was Rose Tico, who again was much less of an offensive character than Holdo, in my opinion. But again, shoehorned in
right
to create this weird romance in one of the worst sequences I've ever seen in romance.
Honestly, I thought that if there was going to be like a kind of a romance kind of thing, it seemed like they were setting it up between Rey and Finn.
Yeah, I thought that they essentially were.
Yeah.
Even though everybody wanted it to be Poe and Finn.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that. I'm going to say one thing about that.
I would have, if they did it correctly, I'd have been fine. Who cares?
I would say the one thing about that is they were being shipped. But here's the thing. If Disney wanted to do that, if Disney wanted to set them up to be romantic, go for it. Don't play around. Don't token it out. Just go for it. Let him be romantic. Let it make sense.
I think that any kind of romance,
It was mainly between Rey and Finn. That was the romance that we were kind of getting an idea of. And that I think actually may have been, again, part of JJ's idea. I think JJ was maybe leaning that way.
Yeah, maybe they would have had a romance between all three of them, and they could have,
triangle.
The love triangle.
They may have actually been thinking of that, but again, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, okay, let's go back. Let's step back to the space car chase. A huge part of that movie that went on and on and on forever. Now, you want to talk about plot holes. This is why Rian Johnson, that everybody says is so brilliant and such a clever writer and director, was horrible in this movie. I mean, let's start with hyperspace, okay? Okay, you want to put this thing together where you could track him in hyperspace. Okay, fine. You want to put that out there, fine. Hyperspace in front of the Rebel cruiser. Don't land behind it and then car chase it through space.
That would be weird.
You know what? You can't end up in front of it. You can't take half your forces and put them in front of the Rebel cruiser.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. What? How about this? How about you set a point? Here's the cruiser. Here's you. You set a point with an X-wing or some kind of captured vehicle, and you just hyperspace right through them in the same way they did at the end.
There you go.
There you go. Case
okay. How about this?
Here's the other thing too. It's like when they got at the end of this movie, like I had the feeling that there was like 10 of the resistance fighters left. It was like oh my gosh.
Yeah, like 40 of them.
Yeah, it's like.
But even before that, how about this? They have a light speed capable vessel in the Rebel fleet that they chose to put Rose and Finn in to fly to. So they have a light speed capable ship.
Yeah.
That was small. Okay? That Finn and Rose used to find the code breaker for that whole stupid plot of breaking in and doing that. Okay.
That was the dumbest.
Okay. And now, why would you not take that little light speed capable ship that the First Order is not tracking and evacuate everybody?
I don't know. Why would you do that?
I mean, you want to spend time in a stupid code? No, you evacuate everybody and you get one volunteer, Holdo, to continue to fly the Rebel cruiser. And then, if you want to do that whole hyperspace thing that they did at the end,
Look,
whatever.
Rian Johnson's whole... I think I've met guys like this. And I'm just completely making a character assessment of Rian Johnson just by the movies the movie he makes and his Twitter stuff. He doesn't believe the stuff that he's dishing. He's just doing it so he can get with chicks. This whole thing is just like, look how woke I am, bro. Look how woke I am. You
want to date me?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway.
I don't know, but the point is, you have a light speed capable ship that the First Order is not tracking.
Right. Dude, it was just the pace. Like, we'll talk about
they do the car chase, but what do? They have a bunch of non-light speed capable landing craft that they try to escape the Rebel cruiser from to land on the conveniently placed salt planet that just happens to be very conveniently placed in this whole scenario, that they escape, that they do take and then of course the First Order becomes aware of it and starts shooting, blasting those all up.
Hold on, you know what? Refresh my memory. What was? They started off in space, right? They were just in space and they were doing this.
They escaped from the planet because the First Order was attacking the Resistance base.
Okay.
And they escaped with like 3 ships. Three big ships
that had no fuel.
2 of them were destroyed, and they didn't have enough. They had fuel, but they were running out of fuel, and so they couldn't go through hyperspace because they were being tracked. And then there was the big car chase in space, where you didn't put.
Did they really set that up? Like.
The point is, I was watching the movie at this point, and this is what all my mind was doing. My mind was like, take the people off in that little ship.
Here's where the movie lost me, where I was like, okay. It's when they went to Canto Bight.
Canto Bight.
And it reminded me of the pod racers.
Yeah. Which
the pod racers in itself, in Phantom Menace, wasn't that bad of a scene, but it's kind of like, oh, this is just, we've been here. We're out of order here.
I don't know. Why not take everybody to Canto Bight? Drop them off, and then regroup later.
I don't know, but like I said, the whole thing, like I said, the problem that I had with the whole thing was like they made Finn just seem like this bumbling idiot. There was no journey there for him.
Right, none.
And when he actually faced down Phasma, which is another wasted character.
Yeah, she was wasted.
Where it's like
by JJ and Ryan.
I'll give you that. JJ really didn't do much with her.
Right.
Other than set her up to
look cool and be the Boba Fett of the sequel trilogy.
But it's like, oh, good, there you go. Here's a character that just you see Gwendolyn Christie's eye. It's like, oh, there's.
I mean, not only is she a decent actress who could have done something.
She's a strong female character.
Yeah, she
God.
She could have been amazing.
So there's
that's the other plot point of actually going back to Force Awakens, where they have her and she's like, sure, I'll give you the codes to Starkiller Base.
They put her in the trash compactor.
Yeah, they did. But sure, you want the codes?
Yeah.
You got them.
Yeah, they were okay. They're far from being a perfect movie, but I didn't walk away from the Force Awakens thinking, what did I just watch?
You wanted to
right. I walked away from the Last Jedi thinking, and again, like we could go into the whole Luke thing. It's been done ad nauseum.
Well, we're not going to do Luke again. We did that already.
Yeah.
I took my family and my mom and dad on Christmas Day,
and it ruined your Christmas.
It ruined my Christmas.
It ruined your Christmas.
Yeah, I'm walking out of there, riding up the escalator. My hands are shaking, and I'm like, what happened?
I know.
How could this have happened? And I didn't even believe that it could happen. And then just from there, it just went insane.
Yeah.
But going back to plot, that's one of the worst things. The decision to make Luke feel that his only option to deal with Kylo was to murder him in his sleep.
Perfect. Perfect. Like that must have just, like, can you imagine that? All right, let's play Ryan Johnson. You're sitting there. God, what do we do with Kylo?
There's a glow around me because I'm so awesome.
Yeah. How do we explain Kylo? Luke tried to kill him. Perfect. Okay.
But he really didn't, because at the last second
because Kylo's stronger than Luke. Kylo's stronger than Luke.
At the last second.
And if Kylo's stronger than Luke and Rey's stronger than Kylo, then Rey's stronger than everybody.
Right.
Right. That's great.
Right. So so then not only, all the terrible Jake Skywalker plot stuff about how I went to die and I cut off the Force and all these stupid decisions he makes, but we get to another small detail with Luke, and I want to bring this up. And there's been nobody who's agreed with me yet on this.
Okay, let me see if I agree with you.
Okay, it has to do with Yoda. Yoda's appearance in The Last Jedi.
Oh.
When Yoda appeared in The Last Jedi, he was back to being, where am I? He was a little clown again.
Yeah.
The little clown
was
Yoda
a facade.
Was a facade.
I agree with you on that one.
Okay?
I absolutely agree with you on that one.
And when Yoda turned serious in Empire Strikes Back, probably one of the greatest moments of a plot in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
When you realize that this little green dude that sounds like Grover.
It almost sounds like they were subverting expectations.
And they made. I mean, there's no reason for Yoda to have been like that again.
No. Unless it's kind of like he was like, I'm so happy that we're destroying this, but it was stupid.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was
correct.
Dumb.
Right. So Rey gets no training from Luke. She can lift rocks, tons of them at the end, and she's great.
But I've read that Rey or I've heard, I've seen on other shows, that there was about a month that Daisy Ridley filmed with Ewan McGregor of her training with Obi-Wan, and it got all canned.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Really.
I've never heard that before.
Yes, you should look into it.
I will. But anyway, as far as plot goes, in my opinion, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's like again, you can make a film. You can say, I'm going to alter the formula. I'm going to subvert expectations. I'm going to this. I'm going to that.
You know what would have been a great subversion of expectations? Like if Luke was hanging on someplace in Bespin. He was like hanging for his life, and then he found out that Darth Vader was his father.
Wow.
That would have really subverted.
What a subverted expectation.
Who
would have seen that coming?
Yeah. Is that just me, that you can subvert expectations and make a fantastic movie?
A fantastic movie. That's what I'm saying. Ryan Johnson is a bad writer. He might be an okay director.
Nah.
I mean, he might be an okay director.
Did you see Looper?
I saw Looper. It was okay.
Again, it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah. I didn't see Knives Out because it's not my, it's just not.
The point is, he was horrible in the plot of this movie. So, that concludes our next topic. If you are still with us at this point, hit like, hit subscribe for all the great stuff that we are going to be presenting you. Much better than this.
Right. It'll be great.
And enjoy.
Cool.
And we will move on to our next topic.